Hello, 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 and welcome back to yet another Q&A here at the Rag Company. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I'm your host, Dane Hennon. To my left, Anthony Fisher.
Dane, does it feel good to be sitting back in this uncomfortable chair, ready for a new Q&A Thursday?
I'm enjoying it. We'll see how you're doing in an hour or two.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not watching. I'm not rinseless washing a raptor today.
No.
And to be honest, I'm glad I'm not. That was not very much fun. I don't think I'll ever rinseless wash that truck again. That was it's just a lot of truck. You know what I mean?
A lot of movement,
a lot of surface area, a lot of dipping. And, I don't think it was for me in that moment. But, here we are.
All right.
We're ready to answer some questions. So, Dane, what do we have going on in the studio today?
Well, we brought a slightly smaller truck in. It's a Toyota pickup, and it's Gabe's. So I'm sure he's going to be watching like a hawk as our friend Justin Labato, who's visiting, who does some work on it. Justin, what is up, my man?
He is drinking car candy.
Oh, sorry.
He's huffing a bottle.
I'm actually here today. Of course, on behalf of Car Candy, I'm Justin, and we're going to be here showing and demonstrating some of the products for our upload to Amazon. So we're going to have quite a few of the Car Candy products online on Amazon, and myself and a few of the Rag Company family members are going to help me out on washing this little Tacoma behind us.
Nice.
That
is in fact a little Tacoma. That's what.
That's before they called them Tacomas.
Yeah, that's what raptors eat for breakfast. Am I right?
Man.
Yeah.
something like that. Actually, maybe like a small snack. It's all right, Gabe. We love you and your little truck. So they're getting ready to do that. So today, as far as some housekeeping goes, just to kind of cover that. So TRCMA was several weeks ago now, and to be honest, I think we're still kind of coming down off of that.
Yeah.
Coming down off of that high or whatever you want to call it. Gabriel, what are you doing, you little weirdo?
Oh, man.
Gabriel found a loose Honda Grom here inside the studio. That's very, very much
just
like
hand
him.
them out.
They do hand, little things. Yeah.
Anybody can get one of those.
And so we're still kind of coming down off that high, catching up on a lot of different things. So it's going to include YouTube content. It's going to include kind of splicing up a lot of these these video segments from the show and getting those out as individual videos out on YouTube. And Sebastian's been doing a pretty killer job doing that and making them very entertaining along with Glenn. And so these videos will be living on the Rag Company YouTube channel. And what I like about it is that, you don't have to skip around through TRCMA. You get kind of that right there in the moment, and it is actually edited. So we actually took that footage and edited it to make it just a little bit faster paced, a little bit so you're getting the information a little bit faster, and just, I guess, better as well. So
like our regular videos.
We have that going on, and then next week, I believe the eFoam Pro 2s. Knock on wood. Hopefully they arrive safely.
I'm knocking on this wood right now.
Yeah, so we are looking forward to that. So very excited, and then I'm getting Nick. What did Nick say?
It's okay.
Okay, I thought he said something. So we have that going on, which is really exciting, and then outside of that, I mean, really, we have. We're pretty much in the heart of detailing season right now, and so a lot of people are trying to pick up goods and trying to get things going. As far as holidays go, we have Memorial Day coming up here soon, coming up in May. So that'll be hopefully we'll have a couple interesting things on the Rag Company website for that, and then we will be having some very kind of brand focused stuff here over the summer that I'm excited about as well. So. Yeah, as far as what's been going on around here, it's been media catch up. Mm-hmm. It's been a little bit of product planning, still some new product developments, which is exciting. And then also, for people who are wondering when the Slim Dryer as well as the M22 drying towel are going to be arriving, it looks like we're going to be kind of at May time frame, right? Beginning of May, mid-May is when everything should be here and onboarded, and then we're going to be able to have those on both ragcompany.com as well as Amazon.
Very nice. Okay, well, I've got questions piling in here as we go. But you know the drill. Go ahead and keep dropping them in here as we go along. If you think of new stuff, just pop it in the chat. That's the way this works. We answer your detailing questions. But if they're about, technique, process, business stuff, we can cover all that. And by the way, if you weren't aware, Justin back there has his own business as well, so he can definitely speak to that if you have
Justin
questions.
is exceptionally knowledgeable. He is a very fun guy as well. Yeah. He's handsome. He has tattoos.
We're just glazing you out here, Justin. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We're just pumping him up. Also, just a quick reminder before we answer the first question, make sure to fertilize your lawn, everybody. We are here towards the end of April. I was just talking to Dane about it. Dane has not mowed or fertilized yet at this point, so feel free to razz him in the comments, right, and really motivate him to get out there and kind of get his hands dirty. Right?
Yeah, you could do that. I haven't even turned the water on yet. I was waiting for it to be a consistent week of lows that are higher than 30 something. So once we had that,
we've been high. But we have not dipped into the 30s in probably a month.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is
dipped
true.
Into the 30s just last week.
It didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think it did.
Anyway, nobody cares
fertilize
about that.
and mow your lawn. Get that thing looking green. Look forward to a very good-looking lawn this summer. Hans closing with a hello and word up from the Netherlands.
Yes.
Hello,
Hans.
Land of stroopwafels. Hans, we miss you dearly, man. We hope you're staying safe out there and having fun. Next up here, we've got...
Man with the dragon tattoo himself.
Man with the dragon tattoo.
Hey, he sees Justin. He knows
Reflection
Justin.
artist is in the house. You are right.
And then I've got a hello from RJ here. RJ, haven't seen you around here, but nice to see you with the thumbs up. Thank you. And then we've got Dan Pfeiffer. Wouldn't be a Q&A without Dan Pfeiffer popping in for a word up. What's he saying?
It says, good afternoon, word up from a rainy Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. Good to see you all here.
Likewise,
Dan, we
Dan.
are happy to see you here as well. Thank you for bringing that positivity into the comments.
We love that. We need that. So thank you.
Do.
And then I've got Kevin Monzon saying hello from Guatemala. Hey, that's
Heck
awesome,
man.
Kevin.
Heck yeah.
Glad to see you here.
Kevin's been here in the chat a few times, I believe.
No, I've seen him a couple times. I didn't recognize the profile pic, though. Perhaps it changed. Dan, again here, popping to say, for those who don't know, KCX Alkaline Wheel Cleaner is not only great for wheels, it is amazing at stripping tires to get rid of browning and old dressings. Fantastic product.
It is. The alkalinity there is it makes a massive difference there. So it's a great all-around wheel and tire cleaner. So it works great for both.
The Germans tend to be pretty literal in how they name their products too. Like it's very purposeful with the KCX line.
Yes, they do.
They
do that, and you know what makes it easy for us.
Yeah. Make it easy.
Make it easy. David Boyce says, afternoon, everyone. Oh, hello, Dane and Mr. Fisher. David, are you going to be here to, are you going to be here
who's rocking the toupee today, David?
Well, I'm just saying. So, David, who are you going to pick on today? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be Dane? Is it going to be Justin with the tattoos?
He loves to give us a hard time. He's probably going to be nice to Justin, though. Justin's
probably.
A guest,
so David says, so good of you two to be here today. Now, where's the IK2 eFoamer? So we're hoping for next week, David. We're looking forward to it.
You mentioned at the top. We're working on it.
And make sure, everybody, too, when you pick up your new eFoamer, make sure you pair that with a new IK sprayer lid. For your get that for your foamer and or your multi sprayer. That way, if you are storing chemicals inside the sprayer there, you aren't submerging your pickup tube and everything in there for long periods of time, especially in something that's slightly caustic. So the lid makes a huge difference and will extend the life of your sprayer. So check that out.
For those of you who don't know how long we worked to get them to make those lids a reality, just understand that was years and years and years of effort. So please do buy the lids. You asked for them. Now you have them. But it was an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So
Dan says hello and good afternoon. Nice to see you, Dan.
And we got another one here. I've got Alpha Tango with a hello for us. Oh, another opportunity to hear my friends at TRC. So thankful. Thank you, Alpha Tango.
Thank you, Alpha Tango. Hey, we're happy to be here, man.
We're happy to have you here. All right. Now I got a question from Glossworks Garage. What can we help them with?
Best, most aggressive wheel cleaner. Most aggressive wheel acid. I mean, that's not really the right answer. Most aggressive wheel cleaner that we sell. Kind of going back to probably the Alkaline wheel cleaner would probably be a good one. I think that would be a multi-star could also work. It's pretty aggressive. I think that, between how many different combos you can do with, a particular fallout remover as well as a wheel cleaner, and some of them that are kind of built into an all-in-one, I think you have a lot of different options there, and I think you'll probably get the same result with a lot of different pairings. But I mean, what's really the most potent, I would say, is probably something like Power Clean from Optimum. Power Clean is extremely aggressive, especially diluted 1-to-1, 2-to-1. But you still want to choose a product that is going to be more so meant for wheel cleaning in general, or rather than just a really heavy hitting hammer APC. And so for that, I going back to what we were talking about earlier, probably Alkaline wheel cleaner. Give that a shot, and you can use it different dilutions as well. But I think that would probably give you what you're looking for.
All right. Then I got our friend Masters of the Shine Detailing saying, yo, what's up, everyone?
What's going on?
How's it looking down in Utah? How's the weather there? Then we've got Tamra, of course, popping in saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Tamra.
Tamra. Good to see you.
Lucas is not here, but he is here in spirit. He's actually over in the other building, busy doing customer service-y type things.
He is.
And he's very good at it. Sheepstar checking in.
Sheepstar's going on, man.
Of course, Sheepstar. Welcome, sir. And Kevin Butler. What's Kevin saying?
What product do you recommend for front bumper air dams and metal side retractable steps?
It's very specific things.
Front bumper air dams and metal side retractable steps. What product do you recommend? I mean, if you're just trying to clean them, dude, then pretty much any APC is going to work fine. If bumper air dams are, I'm assuming you're referring to like plastic inserts, or are you referring more so to the separation of the plastic that's not painted, or maybe it's like piano black? Give me like a better idea of what you mean by the dam itself. There's so many different styles.
When you say what product do you recommend, are we talking protection or cleaning, or like what are we doing?
You got to give me more than that, man. But like as far as cleaning retractable side steps, typically we'll use an APC, and we'll just scrub it up, dub, clean them up, and then very rarely will we put like a protection on a side step. But you can use something that's just non-slippery, or try to dress it with something that's non-slippery, and that works well.
Well, and metal side steps, they could be powder coated, they could be bare aluminum, they could be a lot of different things. We need to know a bit more.
We need some more information. Here's what I think we need.
Yeah, Alex Stewart, what's he saying?
It says, happy Friday Eve, all. Have a meeting, so we'll need to catch this later. Love you all, and take care. Thank you, Alex.
Right back at you, Alex. Appreciate you.
David saying, what's up, guys? What's going on, David?
Up, David? And then Joey or Alex popped in to do this.
Ooh, the Detail Grind podcast checking in, saying, hello, friends. What's going on, boys?
Those guys do great work, and they had a
good to see you.
Crazy 3-hour-long podcast, the longest they've ever done.
How do they manage
with
that?
Matt Moorman last week?
How did they get him to talk for 3 hours?
It's Matt. You get him talking,
that's true. It's actually really
next
not that
thing
difficult.
you know, the hours just disappear.
But you guys gave him a platform to do that,
and you're
it's
okay
pretty
with
fun.
It.
Yeah.
So it's actually very good. I feel like I learned some new things about him. I appreciated what they talked about. So yeah, David here saying, "What's up, y'all?" David, right back at you.
What's going on, dude?
Ooh. We get to name him. What are we going to call the one who shall remain nameless today? What's his name? What are we feeling?
Ooh.
We could go with a classic, like calling him Jerry.
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking like Raymond.
Raymond. Okay. So we're just bouncing through different sitcom protagonists.
Have we given him Raymond before?
I don't think we've called him Raymond before. Let's just call him Ray.
Okay, so Ray's saying, happy Friday Junior TRC family, just popping in to say hi. Without my nephews today, I'll catch the replay later. I'm out with my nephews today. Gotcha. Cool, enjoy, man.
Well, we will catch you on
You take it easy,
side.
Ray.
Yeah.
Alpha Tango says, stopped at the Pay and Spray. A guy was washing his minivan with his kids. He started screaming at one of them about the hose touching the hood and scratching it. Oh. He is using the foam brush on the panels, yes. Yeah.
No, but nobody's winning there. Like at first I thought it was going to be like a sweet story about, this guy's washing the car with his kids. That's cute. And then it just turns into, well, that's a bummer, Alpha. Hopefully things worked out in the end. Maybe they were just having an off day, or maybe they're just like that all the time, which wouldn't be great. Wheelie Good Auto Detailing. I will always love your business name, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Sheepstar. Oh, boy. Every time he asks a quote-unquote important detailing question, it This is not a detailing question, but I'm going to throw it up there anyway. Here you go. What do you think, Anthony?
Charcoal, propane, pellets, or wood? If you had to pick one for the rest of your life for barbecuing, what would it be? Ooh, that's actually a great question. Dane, what are you going with?
I like pellets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why?
Pellets or wood. I'm just, charcoal, I'm not particularly down with charcoal and the way it makes things taste necessarily.
Okay.
That's just me, though. And propane's fine. I use propane on my grill, and there's nothing wrong with that. But pellets or wood, I feel like you get, I don't know, I just like the woodsy, where you can get the different flavors, like a mesquite one or something like that.
Smoker, right?
Yeah, like a smoker style pellet kind of grill. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I get that.
Yeah, Traeger style.
I'm probably going to go with propane on this Sheepstar, and the reason for that is that it's pure, right? It's easy to use.
Hank Hill would be proud.
There's very little mess. It doesn't require a max amount of effort, and I don't have I think the thing is with smoking something, I can get behind it. I think it's a patience thing, though, right? You have to have patience. You have to be cool with smoking something for several hours, right?
And see, I would be okay with that.
I'm not.
I'm all right with that.
I'm not. I want to be a little bit more hands-on. I'm impatient. Usually when I'm cooking something on a grill, I am already hungry. So because I'm always hungry. So I'm usually just ready for whatever it is.
You're just never not hungry. That's the
I actually like cooking with charcoal, and I've cooked with charcoal in the past. Like back in my college days, we had a grill, but it was a charcoal grill, right? So it was kind of funny. So we'd go out on our back patio and cook up this charcoal stuff. It just tasted like lighter fluid because
another reason I was never that fond of charcoal.
So again, going back to now being somebody that's impatient, right? I throw my charcoals in, lighter fluid, start it up. I'm like, man, these things need to be burning way hotter, right? What's the answer? More lighter fluid, right? What's the answer? What happens with more lighter fluid?
That fluid goes somewhere. I don't know if you noticed.
Making things taste weird. And so, needless to say, my chicken and frozen burgers tasted pretty weird back in the day. But I'm going to go propane.
All right. And then we've got Joey here saying, I know what that studio's about to smell like. Oh, boy.
Is that a tree?
Yeah, it looks like trees.
All right.
Anthony M. Yes, I'm aware of the symbology there. Anthony, cut with a rotary and finish with a DA, or vice versa. What throw if DA? So what size throw?
You can cut with a rotary finish. That's pretty much what most people do as a standard if you want to do that. Or cut with a DA and finish with a DA. That's another option as well.
There are plenty of people who do that.
If you're asking that question, then I would imagine that rotary wise, you probably haven't had a lot of experience finishing with a rotary. So if it's me, dude, I'm gonna always finish like a 15 DA, like a 15 millimeter throw. Long throw, no. I don't want to finish with a long throw. 21, no. So 15 would be pretty much my ideal thing. It all depends on the application, though. I mean, if I'm finishing out a boat, 21's going to be great. If I'm finishing out a large truck, 21's going to be great. But anything else, mid-sized car, small car, and just about everything else in between is going to be with probably a 15 millimeter.
I know Levi always liked rotaries and stuff, but the reality was
Levi would never finish. Levi didn't finish with a rotary.
No, but he just liked using them in general, just the feel.
The problem with finishing with a rotary, I think, is half the time is, without proper adequate lighting, right? You do not know what that final result is truly going to be until you pull that thing out in the sun.
Oh, hello, holograms.
And it doesn't matter how careful you are and how perfect you are and how good your technique is with certain pads and certain polishes and whatnot. But I mean, when you're finishing something out with a rotary, there's always going to be a higher risk of having some type of hologram in some way, shape, or form. And that's just part of it. Now, with that said, could you absolutely finish something out with no holograms and have it look amazing?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are plenty of very capable, talented people who can do that. But I think for the average person, if they're to pick up a tool and use it that way, the DA is going to give them a better result.
Yeah, DA is going to get you. I don't know if you are an
people
absolute,
get mad in the comments.
If you are an absolute freaking wizard and you can get the best finish ever with a rotary, and you're just I don't know, God's gift to rotary polishing, a DA will still give you 95% of that, right? Generally speaking.
And compared to your customer, whoever you're doing the car for, unless it's you're the only one who can tell that difference, really.
I mean, most of the areas that you're going to be refinishing, and most of the areas that you're going to be worried about defect removal, yeah, rotary is probably going to be more capable in getting to certain areas, right? And that's usually just because a random orbital, right, or a DA, dual action, right, you have that spinning. There's going to be a chance that you're not going to be able to fit that machine into certain areas, or there's going to be a chance that you're not going to get rotation in certain areas, depending on the vehicle. But, I mean, the thing about a rotary is you're always going to get rotation. So you can really get right up to certain edges, certain door cups, certain, I don't know, body lines and whatnot, and really finish out and correct those areas, at least removing the major defects. But then you need to, of course, go through and finish everything out again with like a DA. That's what I would go with.
Joey Belinsky here saying that the segment edits have been hilarious. There have been some really good ones.
They've been killing it on those. I'm having a ton of fun rewatching those.
And then they got me to go and stand over here and shoot a bunch of outros to each of these, because at the end of each segment you would throw to something and they're like, well, clearly we can't do that, so we have to come up with new endings. So I've been having fun coming up with new ways to respond to you way after the fact. Sheepstar says, Anthony M., you don't need both. Most cars are served just fine by DA for cut and finish, as we said.
Yeah, you don't need both. I mean,
now that's not to say like you want to expand your horizons and get better at something. Who are we to say no? Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I find that most of the people nowadays, right? I mean, you have to remember the technology for these machines are so much better now. I mean, like, I think you could give you could train a beginner on a Mark 515, on a Rubis Mark 515. Train them, teach them.
They can do virtually everything. With that tool.
I mean, you're going to have pro results with that machine. That machine is so good. Same with the HLR. Like, the machines have improved so much now to where you don't really have that learning curve that you used to have back in the day. I mean, you might have a rotary guy that's going to have a learning curve going to a DA, right? If he's been an old school rotary guy and never used a DA, then there's going to be a small learning curve there. But I mean, if you start somebody out on like a newer 15 of pretty much any brand, and you train them on that and they learn it, live it, love it, I mean, that's all they'll ever need. I mean, you won't really need anything else. I mean, I find that most people who have been dabbling with DAs forever and ever and ever, really are just kind of picking up rotaries just to try it, just to see what it's all about. And you'll have some newer people that really like it, but for the most part, you're gonna have people that are just like, is it worth the risk of using this machine? Not that there's massive risk, but I mean, is it worth completely retraining your muscle memory to also learn this tool when very rarely would you need it, versus just sticking with the DA? And I think that the reason for that too is that with DAs now, you have so many different sizes of everything. I mean, you've got 1-inch machines, you got 3-inch machines, you got 5-inch, 6-inch, you got so many different machine options there, where literally there's nothing nowadays where you can't really get to with a DA. And even if you can't get to it, a lot of these smaller 1-inch, 3-inch machines can now be converted to a rotary function, and that rotary function can now accept a flexible shaft or just a rotary input on there, to where now you're still able to get up to those edges with a rotary function and still be able to get everything you would normally want. So those machines are a good example of still adequately using a rotary nowadays while still incorporating a DA.
Oh, very well said. I've got Joshua Water Dragon here saying, I just got the Ultra Air Spray applicator and the Blaster Plus. 2-part question. Should I order your air swivel for it? Because I notice I can't place it down flat. Then he also says, second question, can I put in Koch TS in the spray applicator, or is it strictly for water-based dressings? Now, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, and that's partly why we say what we do regarding that particular sprayer, but Anthony can get into more detail.
Yeah, I would absolutely get the swivel. The swivel's great. I mean, like, once you get the swivel, you're like, dang, I really wish I would have just gotten this earlier. It just makes the machine, or makes the tools just a little bit more usable. You have a little more flexibility there. You can now set it down in certain cases. With putting Top Star in like the spray applicator, like, can you do it? Yeah, totally. I would always just recommend, obviously, number one would be protection for yourself, right? So having some type of mask, some type of respirator, something like that for whatever you're spraying. But also keep in mind that whatever you're putting into the spray applicator, and or even just the Blaster Plus, just keep in mind the viscosity of the product that you're putting in there, right? So if the product is thicker, I mean like that of a watery soap, that's probably still too thick. So you're going to want to dilute whatever you're putting in there. So if I were to take Top Star and put it into that sprayer, I'm probably going to dilute it like 1-to-1 with some distilled water and give it a little shake inside the bottle and then attach it and then spray it. It's just, you don't want any type of clogging, right? And certain products you won't know they're going to clog until it's already kind of too late, and then you got to clean out the whole machine, the whole gun, and then you also don't want to store any type of chemical in the spray applicator long term. So it has a flexible pickup tube inside there. It is chemical resistant, but it's not like chemical proof. So you don't want a breakdown of that hose happening over time and letting it sit in something that maybe is less than ideal. And so basically the trick to the spray applicator is use what you want to use. Make sure it's a very thin liquid. I mean, like very, very thin liquid. Apply, use it, abuse it, and after you're done, fill up that little container filled with just some water and just blast some water through it just to clean out the sprayer, and then let it air dry and then store it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, I've got Joey Belinsky, laying down some possibly spicy thoughts here. OG Drying Aid is not as slick as Amplify. I'd like to put that on the record.
Okay, noted.
I mean, Matt's tough on it, but I think conditions change based on who's using it.
But Drying Aid is
going either way.
Aid is quite nice, though. It is a good product, and yeah, I've been really liking it.
Joey tried it though. He put his money where his mouth was. He was a Matt hater for a long time, and he gave it a try.
He's been converted. I like it. It's like a transition.
So
slowly
I'm
but surely.
Very interested to hear what he thinks, like longer term, using it even more.
Yeah.
Like just in different conditions. Try it on different vehicles too, Joey. I mean, I know obviously you've got your Golf, but there are other options too, and just see how it feels on coated cars, uncoated cars, if there's much of a difference. Oh, Detail Grind saying you don't want to miss this Friday at 5.
What's going on at 5?
Every show they do is Fridays at 5, but I don't know who their guests this week. They keep it a mystery every time, and then they pop it on you at the last minute. I guess that's kind of fun though. So must be somebody special. Hans, but does he have a dragon tattoo? Well, you were talking about Justin. He has tattoos. Maybe not a dragon.
I don't know if Justin does have a dragon tattoo. I mean, Tons, you're in my eyes, you're the only man with a dragon tattoo.
I mean, that's what makes you the man with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
Dan Law, what's he saying, Anthony?
Says, was thinking of using Defender and Beadmaker like in your videos. I don't have a ceramic on the car, so how often should I use this combo to keep the protection going? Defender, probably a couple times a year, right? So, I mean, if you want to use Defender every 3 months or so, it's probably fine. And then maintenance washes, just do a couple spritz of Beadmaker and you're kind of just topping it off at that point. I mean, clean the car, maybe one spray per panel with Beadmaker and just use it as a drying aid or do a separate application of it. The only thing I could see is that you might get buildup after the initial application of Defender. Like, let's say you apply Defender and then like a week later you got to put Beadmaker on the top. It'll probably be fine, but once that buildup of that product starts happening, you might start getting some streaks and stuff like that, so which tells you that, hey, your paint's loaded, it's got too much stuff on it, give it some time for it to break down. And so so just periodically. That's why I think like you only need like a spray, like a spritz of Beadmaker on one panel, per panel, and then that's it. And that should keep things going.
Okay. Then I've got Brian wondering if we have heard of the Maniac line of products.
I've seen some pictures. I literally don't know anything about it. I've never heard of a...
They are UK.
I mean, I've seen the pictures, but I never heard of it prior to seeing these pictures.
I remember hearing about them and seeing... I thought I saw them at Waxstock when we were there.
Were they at Waxstock?
I would have thought.
Were they?
But, Brian, you tell us a bit more about it.
It was called Maniac?
Yeah, the Maniac line of products. Unless I'm mistaken and I just saw something else that I thought was them. Dan Pfeiffer, time to man up, Dan. Get going with the lawn care. I appreciate that,
That's what I'm talking about, Dan. Motivate him.
For the record,
haze him.
My lawn is way bigger than Anthony's. My lawn qualifies for a riding mower, if that's any indication, and I push mow that thing. So, yes, that will be coming, but we'll be doing it soon. I actually have some very different ideas on what I want to do with the lawn long term.
Yeah.
And let me just say, at least half that grass won't be there anymore. But, not for a little bit.
Dane is thinking about making a mud wrestling pit. And,
how'd you know? Who told you?
Because I know what you're into, Dane.
Oh,
and
no.
So
it's oatmeal. It's not mud.
Okay, it was an oatmeal wrestling pit. That's what's even more concerning.
I've been buying up Quaker for the last 3 years and just hoping no one would notice.
Yeah, I know. It is.
Supplies are getting low at Winco, man.
I just don't understand why you had to add sugar into the pit as well.
Oh, cinnamon sugar. It just kind of looks like mud.
Sick. People like, my eyes.
I can only yes and this so much before it's just utterly disgusting. Okay, Joey. Dane's property is prime for ankle rolling. I'll tell you what.
No, Dane needs to completely level that grass.
I have so many hills.
It's just your lumps. It's your grass
I got a lumpy
lumps.
lawn.
And
it's a lot of lumps.
And now you don't have an animal right now to completely
Correct.
destroy that. So.
Yep. Which is why I'm debating just taking down a good chunk of that fence and changing up my landscaping entirely.
I think that'd be smart.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that your next animal would be a very little dog.
It's going to be a big dog.
No, very little.
I always have to have a big dog. If I have a dog, it's going to be medium to big.
You do not need a big dog.
Smallest I'll go is Shiba Inu.
Your lifestyle requires a very small, compact dog.
Yeah, well... I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just more of like a aesthetic dog. I love Samoyeds, man.
Dane, you need to have the energy for one of those types of dogs.
No, that's more of like a husky. The huskies are a bunch of work. People don't know what they're getting into. Samoyed, yes.
I think
there's some work. They're still a work and breed, but it's a little different.
Would be for you. But regardless, I think that going back to your lawn thing, I think you get that thing, get it mowed. I would probably, if it was me, just because sod is still affordable at this point in time.
Not many things are.
But sod still is. I would tear it all up. I would re-sod it, give it a chance, and then, get it to where it was all leveled there. If that was all leveled, Dane, with some nice brand new sod, that would be like a dream.
The problem is I have too many ideas and not enough, follow through to execute it. But there's some things I want to try with that
Dane,
place.
Your father is the biggest green thumb of anybody.
He's an awesome green thumb. He's amazing at it. I did not get those skills.
If you told him I was going to you're going to resod your yard, he'd be like the first person there.
He'd be very excited, I imagine.
Anyway, okay, moving on.
Archie Nerd here saying, Archie Nerds. Or perhaps Architect Nerds, and it's just shortened. Hello, TRC. Is Armor Detail Shampoo Plus good pre-treat if I wash my car weekly or bi-weekly? Or should I use dedicated snow foam like a Built Hamber Touchless?
No, you're going to just foam on Shampoo Plus, and you're going to go straight into your wash.
Bam.
Don't even rinse it. Just rinse the car, no soap, lay on some foam, get your one bucket, put some more Shampoo Plus in the bucket, and just wash your car. That's it.
Straightforward, I guess.
Especially if it's weekly or bi-weekly. That's all you need to do.
That's fair. Yeah, if you
want
that often,
if you're going for a touchless, Built Hamber, Optimum, whatever touchless, pre-foam, active foam, whatever you want to do. That's like if you're washing a car once a month, every few months, or whatever it is.
What kind of conditions is Nerds in? I wonder.
Yeah, and then
is it someplace where he gets really dirty? Is he on a dirt road or something, or?
But when I see it wash my car weekly, which you probably are washing your car weekly, I don't know. Going through it with a touchless, you're just kind of adding an extra step that's going to give you minimal results comparison to just. You are, because the reason why I'm saying this is because you've already picked a good shampoo. Detail Plus is a phenomenal shampoo. There's really not much else more you need to do other than foam it on and then just wash the car. Use that as lubrication. Now, if you were telling me you're using, a less than shampoo and you were just trying to burn through some of it and you just wanted to you wanted to throw in a touchless, then sure. But you're using a great shampoo already.
Yeah. All right, I got Fine Detailing. I know that guy. Hi, y'all. T2 Grand Ambassador applications are open.
That's
Go
what
apply.
I wanted to say.
Anthony, that's like your whole thing, or is it all Carson's job now?
It's still a combo of both.
Okay.
So Carson's going to be kind of taking over a lot of the phone calls and stuff like that, a lot of communication with the Grandmaster stuff here for T2. But yeah, T2 Grandmaster applications are open. They will be closing next Tuesday. So you still have, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we'll give you probably all of Tuesday to apply. And then once they close, the judging begins, and we find our new 6 TRC GBs for trimester 2, which we're really excited about, and get some new blood into the mix. We have actually, just so far, we have a ton of applicants already. So this is going to be a pretty, it's going to be a pretty strong trimester. And so we're going to be going through those next week and then making the announcements. I think about close to the end of the first week of May is when we're going to be making the announcements. So who knows, man? It could be you. You'll get a bunch of swag. You'll get your own discounts. And then obviously you get a shot at potentially winning Grandmaster of the Year. And you get to
ask Purdy what that's like.
Yeah, you get to live the dream, man. TRCMA,
or Alex, if he's still in here.
Custom Rag Company, Rupes signed polisher. It's all, oh man, the list goes on. It's a really fun time.
No, it's a big deal, and I like with the trimester system. I think we helped open it up a bit for the people who in previous years were stuck in like that fourth quarter at the time of year when the weather just really isn't right if you're in a non-southern state, and it just makes it tough. But this way, with the trimesters, it frees up a few extra months' time to be able to still work in a detailing season. And so I think more people are taking advantage of that, and I like to see it. So it was a good move. I think.
Trimester made the most sense. It gives you a little bit longer seat time. I hate the way it sounds. Like I honestly like saying hey, this
people
trimester,
still make jokes, but
quarters, quarters. I mean, that's what people know. People know what quarters in a year are, but trimesters are a little bit different. But that's the only way that we could give people more seat time. Than doing like a twice a year type of thing, like a biannual or whatever it is. And so trimesters was the right move.
All right, then I got T. Corley here saying, "What's up from Arkansas?"
Nice.
Welcome,
what's going
T.
on,
Corley.
dude?
Nice to have you here. Hope you stick around. By the way, hit that like button, guys. If you're all hanging out in here, only takes a second. We appreciate it. Helps us in the algorithm. All right, David. What's David saying?
Says the e-foamer has hit the docks. They just need to be shipped to the distributors. Yes, I believe ours is already shipped. I think we're just waiting on that.
Working on it. And then Mo44. What's he
hello,
saying?
can I use waterless wash on Tesla's screen mainly for slickness? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be fine.
There's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, the big concern would be using too much product and like overly saturating and dripping into stuff, but it's a minimalist interior. You're not going to hurt too much. That screen doesn't have any like openings on it really, so should be fine. Neil White, hey Dane and Anthony, what looks like Gabe in the background? Happy almost Friday. Well, you are seeing Gabe mixed in with Justin, with everybody else back there, actually shooting real content for what will eventually become the nice-looking content on our Amazon page for Car Candy and those guys. So that's actually what you're seeing develop back there. And that is something we do for other businesses. That is part of it, is the Amazon services we provide. So kind of a cool thing we do.
Sweet.
But, yeah. Then we got Sheepstar here.
Pretty sure the McGuire's has the market cornered on overly glossy dressings.
Love the gloss. And then we've got Water Dragon. That's Joshua Deal. What's he saying?
Quick shout out to you guys for bringing on the guys from Road FS.
Oh.
I've been looking for a way to make things more organized and helpful when booking customers. I signed up with them and so far love it.
That's
awesome, dude. That's great. We're glad that was beneficial for you.
And it's one of those things where when you bring them on, you're like, how many people are going to take advantage of this? You don't know, but I'm really happy to see that you're telling us directly that you use that. So thank you for letting us know. And I'm sure Rod and Jody appreciate letting us know too. Mike Rhines with a good afternoon. Hello,
what's going on?
And then Keith C. Is it mandatory or necessary to polish after using a clay towel? Oh boy, everybody always asks this, and it's a valid question. It's a bit of a debate online, so I think he's just looking to see how you tackle it.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, so if you are going to be crazy about micromarring, or if you're concerned about micromarring, if it does happen, then yeah, you could polish. But like, I think now the general consensus is that no matter what protection you have on your vehicle, no matter if it's coated, wax, sealed, whatever it may be, there's still a likelihood that that coating, that paint, whatever it is going to get contamination at some point, and it's going to impact the way that that paint feels. So what does that mean? You have to polish it, right? Or you have to clay it, right? Yes. So now, just because you clayed your vehicle, does that mean you've affected the coating or the sealant or the wax? No, not necessarily. It means that at this point, you're pretty much just trying to remove whatever that surface crap is off the paintwork. But depending on whether you mar it or whatever it is, yeah, you might be crazy enough where you go, shoot, I think I want to repolish this. I got a little bit of swirling, a little bit of Mars in here. Maybe you had some overspray on the vehicle. Maybe you had some really gnarly sap that you had to remove. You're going to inflict something when you're removing something with heavy contaminants, but oftentimes, I find people that are just doing maintenance clays with proper lubrication and something like our Ultra Clay products, they're not really affecting anything, nor are they really marring or damaging or swirling their paint. And usually, if they see anything, it's so minimal that it's not worth repolishing it. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's completely up to you. It's completely up to how that paint looks after you clay it, but it's not necessary. No.
I feel like mandatory here is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in your question. So is it mandatory? Our answer is no, it's not mandatory, but it comes down to the conditions and how you're doing the work in the first place.
Yeah.
Basically what Anthony said, but you get the gist. So hopefully that helps you and anybody else who's new to this who may not be familiar with the process. All right, then I got another one from Joshua Water Dragon Deal saying, kind of a noob question, but when washing microfiber towels of all sorts, should I wash separate towels, or can I just wash them all in the same wash with rags to riches? I would separate them out based on tasks. So rather than necessarily worrying about the colors, except for the obvious stuff, things like reds with whites, that kind of stuff, concern yourself more with what is this towel meant to do? Is this doing really nasty, dirty jobs? I probably shouldn't put that with the towels I'm using on glass. And, something along those lines, especially glass towels. Keep those things separated from all your other stuff because that's going onto a surface you have to see through. So you don't want to introduce anything that was, dealing with dressings or waxes or any of that stuff and having it find its way onto your glass towels. You just don't want it. But rags to riches will help a lot. Anthony, you can kind of help clarify a bit more there.
No, I think you said it perfectly, Dane.
Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't have said it any different.
Thank you. Every now and then, I knock one out of the park. Sweet.
Well, Dane, you made an amazing microfiber video. If you haven't checked that out, theradcompany.com, you should go check it out. It's very good.
I appreciate all of you who have checked it out. Why choose the Rad Company
microfiber? Mike Ryan says Chocolate Thunder Plus is a good option for wheel cleaning. It is.
Nice.
It is. I don't know. I don't wonder if they're laying down some Chocolate Thunder over there.
Yeah, I think they're getting to work back there. But let's see. We're on from page 5 to 4. And Kevin says,
hello from a slightly overcast yet perfect 70-degree day here in Southern California. Have you guys had a chance to try ADS's Rinseless Sponge? Huge fan of the USS, so curious on the differences. So we have them here. I have yet to really get hands-on on it, to be honest. I know what others have said about it, but I've not experienced it. I've heard really good things. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people like it. It's a little bit stiffer than the USS.
That's what I was going to point out. That's where it's different.
But yeah, I haven't had a chance. There's been a lot of products that have been recently dropped, since TRSEMA that we still are in the process of testing. Yesterday, we actually went through and knocked out a good 5 or 6 products, but those 5 or 6 products we'd kind of had, since before TRSEMA. So we're just playing a game of catch up right now.
Yeah. Then I've got Peter. What's Peter saying?
What would you recommend for plastic on an ATV after washing to protect and make easy to clean after riding? Ceramic spray, graphing spray. Peter, I don't know if you know this, but we have the Rag Company's, and technically it's PNS's and the Rag Company's off-road line. So it's actually a full line of detailing products specifically for off-road vehicles, including ATVs, UTVs, trucks, motorcycles, you name it. It's just a killer line for that. And so there actually is I think it's a pit stop is what the detailer is. There's actually a quick detailer that helps keep things clean after riding and offers a little bit of protection, so you can use that. Full Send is the dressing that comes with that, and Full Send is killer. I mean, so that's actually going to make the next clean easier, especially on any type of exposed black plastics and the interior, anything that you want to dress. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, yeah, I guess you could just use a ceramic spray, graphing spray, whatever you want to use to make things clean, easier to clean after riding. But yeah, it's all on the prep, right? Prep the vehicle, do it right. Clay it, clean it, decon it, apply whatever protection you want, and I imagine it would stick around for quite a while. But or just use the the off-road line and use that as your maintenance products line just for your ATV, and I think that you'll like everything there as well.
And for the non-painted plastics, I'd be very curious to see how like Armor's new trim coating thing coming up would perform on something like that. I think
probably pretty
for
good.
The non-painted ones, that could be interesting.
I think, yeah, phobic spray would also be a good option for you from ADS.
No, excellent. And then Sheepstar also popping in to answer other people's questions. Talking to Keith, all depends on the expectations set for the detail. If you don't promise scratch removal, you don't need to. And I think that's an interesting point, too. And actually, like, you were there during Tier SEMA when Dr. G had the coating that, claims to fill in and stuff. I imagine that for, like, people who want to coat after they've done that kind of thing and they're just looking to get through it faster. Is that a potential option for people out there?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
And then I've got Rocky B here saying, Anthony, where can I get the KCX hat?
This hat right here? You could just come here and take it from me.
Well, wait a second. Don't encourage.
No, I'm just kidding. I believe you can get these at KCX USA's website. I think they might still have some in stock. That's where, the boys over there down in Georgia, they've made a bunch of different merch over the last couple of years.
True.
And I think that this is one of their, I don't know if this was their dad hat. This wasn't a dad hat. I think it was just like a standard.
It's kind of a standard hat.
It's a little dad hatty. But yeah, go to KCX USA's website. They should have some merch options there for you. And if not, then shoot them an email. See if they got anything lying around.
Well, and if the KCX logo is great and all, but if you do want to get something maybe with a TRC logo on it, we got swag and merch too. And we tend to be pretty picky about the source of our shirts, our hats, stuff like that. Nate does an excellent job curating them, so I speak very highly of our merch here. And I think Anthony would agree.
We've got a lot better with it over the last few years.
Yeah.
100%.
Kicking butt. So, anyway, something to check out if you guys want. We do have them. Okay, Neil, love the old Yoda truck. Are new products okay to use on older model vehicles? Anything to be careful with? That's a good question, Neil, because I feel like sometimes people get hung up on, these are new products, that's an old car. Should I use it there? Is it going to act weird? Is something strange going to happen? The reality is, no, usually not.
Anything that we have, we've tested on vehicles like this. We've tested on vehicles older than this. And so anything that we have, we 100% back it on anything that's new. Really, your biggest thing is going to be, certain paint finishes from back in the day, right? Certain single stage paints and
like
whatnot.
Lacquer-based ones.
Yeah, stuff from back in the day where maybe certain cleaners, certain chemicals may not play the best with those. But if you've got somewhat modern day clear coat, modern day interior, wheels, tires, there should be no issue ever.
Yeah. And even with like those older paints and stuff, we, as people who've been around to numerous car shows, auctions, all that kind of stuff in our travels, we've seen, things like Bead Maker used on cars from the 1920s and 30s. It's not out of the question to be able to do that kind of thing. So, you don't have to be scared of that. A lot of times when you're more concerned about older paint is like doing kind of paint correction, stuff like that, polishing, compounding, etc. And you want to be very mindful of the kind of stuff you're working on because like a lacquer-based paint is going to behave differently when you try and polish it. It's a different animal.
Agreed.
But when it comes to wash products, when it comes to those kinds of things, you're fine. You're totally fine. Just clean it the way you would clean a modern car and you should be okay. Just the things to be aware of, I would say on old finishes where you do have like clear coat failure, things like that, stuff starting to fall apart.
Yeah.
What would you say, Anthony, as far as like something where it's starting to show like a little flakiness? Are there certain chemicals you'd stay away from in those instances?
Yeah, I mean, pressure washing probably the one thing. I mean, if it clears flaking off, that's probably what I'm not going to do.
Okay, so more of a tool thing, less about the actual product itself.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to burn. I mean, if you're losing clear coat and you're down to base coat, you just don't want to be spraying anything that's super high alkaline on there.
Yeah.
Could burn the color coat on it. Yeah, but I think you're probably fine.
Okay. Well, and the very last thing I'll put on that is like, yeah, for older vehicles, there's always those concerns about, I might hurt it this way or that way. There's so many rinseless washes out now. Like, that's the move that we take, and Levi approached you same way. Rinseless washes are a really, really good way to handle an older car where there's a lot less protection over like wires and other things that you don't want to get soaking wet.
Yeah.
And you just want to be more careful about louvers, vents, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, rinseless washing is great options for classics and older cars, yeah.
Because the seals on those windows aren't always that great after 50, 60 years. So something to consider. Just throwing that out there. Carl, next up.
What is the best 3-inch polisher that isn't going to vibrate my hands out of my sockets? Currently using an MT3000 with a 3-inch backing plate. Dude, I'm a big fan of the Flex PXE80. I really like that machine. I think that the Rupes 3-inch is also great. The HLR 75 Mini, the 3-inch cordless, is also great. Yeah, I would say, oh man, if there's a lot of good options out there. The Mirka 3-inch,
the Mirkas are incredible. Gosh. And kind of in that same vein, Sydney had that RBL she was messing around with that was interesting.
I don't know what it's called. Is it called RBL?
I think it's called the RBL.
Okay, it's just blue. It's in the cabinet back here, but that's pretty nice as well. But I mean, if you are looking to upgrade, I think depending on the versatility of the tool and what you need, like if you want a rotary function, right? If you want to use a flexible shaft, then that PXE80 from Flex is pretty killer. If you just care about it being cordless, ergonomic, with a decent amount of power, the HLR 75 from Rupes is probably a good option. Or if you're just wanting to stick with something with a cord and you don't want to go cordless, then there's the traditional LHR 75 Mini from Rupes has also always been just a killer product.
Solid choices. So you're smart to be concerned about the vibration because that's what messes people up as they continue to do it as years press on. Your nerves, like everything, just gets messed up, and that's all I've ever heard from detailers who kept at it and didn't, necessarily have like anti-vibration gloves and stuff. Maybe they adopted them eventually, but they had already been doing years of hard work before that, and it got to them. So protect yourself. Jonathan Meza, greetings from Peru, TRC team.
What's going on, dude?
Welcome.
Nice welcome. Welcome to the party.
Love that you're from Peru and visiting here. We try and have a pretty international audience, so that's very cool.
ProShine Solutions, what's going on, man?
ProShine?
What's up, man?
And, more people noticing the truck in the back, Exodus. That's one sweet pickup back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike G. Hey, guys. How's everyone doing?
Mike, what's going on? Good to see you here.
Nice to see you, Mike. And, Sydney's saying, DGP with Matt was great. Yeah. Oh, no. Here's PC with a dad joke here. Went to the doctor yesterday. He told me I have to replace my ass because it has a crack. Okay.
That's pretty funny, actually. That's pretty funny. I think it was so simple that it got me.
I was expecting something that was more complicated, and then it's it's just literally that.
Dave Ford says, good afternoon from Southwest Florida. Good afternoon, man. What's going on, Dave?
Welcome. What page am I on? Am I on 5? No. Okay, we're on to 4 now. Excellent. And our screen just went black. That was weird. Okay, and it's back.
Let's see. Neil White says, Dane Anthony, I got to get my hands on a bottle of Built Hammer Traceless Glass Cleaner, and it is as good as Matt raves about. Oh, he did try it. Glad you like it, Neil. I also agree.
Yeah.
It is a very good glass cleaner.
Oh, man, that thing is... You keep going there's something up with this product. The way it works,
there's a part of me where I'm this works so good that it makes me worried.
It's too good to you. There's something...
because at first I'm is this the smell? Am I smelling solvent when I'm smelling this? And it
does have an interesting smell.
It's not solvent. I think it's how much alcohol is in it. I think there's a decent amount of alcohol in it. And I think
it's potent.
I think that combination of that bubblegum scent with the alcohol, I think it smells solvent-y, and because of that, it just tells me like, ooh, this is something I need to look out for window tint and getting it overspray on my door trims and panels and all that. But really, nobody's had any issues. I mean, I think, yes, there's alcohol in it. I think, yeah, if you're spraying it directly onto plastics, there could be a chance that they maybe could dry out a little bit, but I also think that there's like a wetting agent in that product as well. That's the reason why it spreads so nicely. And I think that the alcohol is the reason why it evaporates so nicely. I don't know. It is magic, though.
I feel like of all the glass, because I was an invisible glass guy forever. Before I worked here, I was using invisible glass. It's one of the few detailing products I was familiar with. That and like Meg's Gold Class soap. So that was the kind of stuff I was using to clean my cars back in the day. But I've always been curious about glass cleaners in particular because it's the thing you interact with the most when you're driving around. You have to look through it wherever you're going. I certainly hope you are using it that way.
Yeah.
But traceless, something about it just cuts. It cuts better than anything else I can think of.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
It's interesting.
I like it. Gabriel ordered, I think, 10 liters of it.
Yeah.
I had 2 5-liters, and I was like, Gabriel, what are you doing with this stuff? And he says he's just using it on everything. He's cleaning his children with it. He is.
Wait a second.
Well,
I don't know
maybe
about
not that part.
Maybe don't let it sit on your skin for too long. I don't know what's going to happen.
Sheepstar says it's a trick question. You can have all of them.
Oh, well,
referring to a barbecue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the plug here? Propane with a wood smoker box.
He's trying to like cross the streams here. And then we got Neil White telling me big green egg, Dane. You know, big green egg is a good choice. Things I've eaten that came off of big green egg were good.
Okay.
Let's see. Sheepstar. For the record, I have propane, charcoal, portable, and pellets, plus a Bradley smoker. I can't have charcoal or wood in my complex. Interesting. It must be. Are they just concerned about the fire hazard from those things?
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not sure what the story is there, but interesting. Steven Audette.
Coach product questions for wheels and tires. Using G's versus using Joe GS. Green Star versus Alkaline Wheel Cleaner versus Magic Wheel Cleaner. When to use each one? I tried Green Star 10-1 on my tires and wheels over the weekend, and it seemed to clean them just as well as AWH. So, I mean, Green Star, you're going to, obviously, you're going to be higher alkalinity on that product. Same thing with, Alkaline Wheel Cleaner. You can, you're going to be the judge of what's going to look the best on your wheels, basically. Green Star and Alkaline Wheel Cleaner are both very economical in terms of dilution and how they can be used. Magic Wheel Cleaner is pretty much used straight out of the bottle. The much less economical product. Magic Wheel Cleaner, the reason why I love that is because Magic Wheel Cleaner seems to be almost like a touchless wheel cleaner. You can do some agitation, but most for the time that's a pretty heavy hitting, just spray on, let it dwell, rinse off, and you're going to have like 99% clean wheels. When using Green Star Active or Alkaline Wheel Cleaner, you can just test them, go side by side. I think that Alkaline Wheel Cleaner, from a formula standpoint, it's probably going to work better at cleaning your tires as well. But I think Green Star is just going to be something that's going to be pretty gentle and effective, yet effective on both wheels and tires and your fender liners and your brakes and all that stuff. I think you can use Green Star on just as much. So you really just got to find what works best for you. It sounds like you're trying them out, though.
Great points. And let's see, I got DIY with Kane saying hello, TRC, Minnesota in the house.
Nice. Kane, what's going on? Nice to see you.
And then David Cervantes here. Ooh, I'm going to drop this down to a serious moment here. Dane, what did you find that helped when you lost Callie? Oh, man. I started my week off with putting down my best friend of 13 years. I'm sorry, David.
Dang it, David, I'm sorry.
It's not a fun time, obviously. And especially, like, if you see it coming and you kind of have time to mentally prepare for it, that's one thing. In my particular case, when I took her to the vet, it was supposed to just be like a visit to check in on something that I thought was going to be routine, and that's when I found out things were way worse on the inside, despite having had a clean bill of health just from a few months prior taking her for a checkup. Something developed fast, and she was old. She was like 15, so Yeah, not an easy time.
Not easy, dude.
Honestly, David,
Sucks.
the only thing that makes it get better is the passage of time.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what anybody wants to hear because it's not going to help you right this moment, but the reality is, like, not to distract yourself with other things. Like, appreciate the time you had. You can think about it. It's okay. It's going to make you sad. And it's okay to cry about it. I mean, there's no wrong way to grieve, right? Long as you're not hurting anybody else.
No,
obviously.
I think you absolutely have to cry. Like, you gotta. I mean, just.
But you gotta get what's inside out.
You gotta do
somehow.
it. You just gotta do it. I think you hold that stuff and you bottle it up, it'll just mess you up. I think you just.
But there's different ways you can do that.
Yeah.
Like, for me, going for like spirited drives around the roads around here in the mountains, I like that. That kind of helped. Just kind of feeling like you're,
I mean, that's a
one
little.
with the, out there. But that's a me thing. It's different for everybody. He's just asking what I did, so. I'm just laying my 2 cents out there. But
I'd say, I mean,
apply yourself.
Get out of the house.
Yeah.
I would probably say, occupy your brain with something, and then, I mean, really, I mean, dude, you gotta just have yourself a good couple cries. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however long it takes, but. You do that, you're going to start. That's probably going to be the first thing that's going to make you start feeling better.
It's a little cathartic that way. And the part that's hard to avoid is there are going to be cases where someone asks you something that just reminds you of it, and that's going to happen. There's no getting around that. There's just going to be moments that remind you of them where somebody doesn't say anything, and it's just a thing reminds you of, like, oh, I remember when, and that's just going to happen. So. I'm sorry for, your loss and what you're going through there, but as time goes on, it does get better, and I'm still sad when I think about it. It doesn't change how much I love the pet, but it also means, like, you got to keep living, and it's what they would want for you, so, yeah. You do the best you can with the time you got, and like I said, you apply yourself to the things around you. Whatever interests you, just lean into that more. Don't get obsessed on one thing, try and spread it out, but just engage with your interests more.
True.
All right.
All right. So we've reached the second half here. So actually, we are going to be going to a brief break. We're going to hear some messages from ourselves as well as our friends in the industry. But don't go anywhere. Get yourself a drink. Get yourself some snacks. Write down some questions.
Yeah.
And join us for the second half in just a few minutes.
Tell a friend about this show. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday right here at the Rag Company. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you're at. Could be anything, I guess. We have a pretty international audience, which I love. I'm Dane Anthony, your host. To my left, Anthony Fisher.
Dane, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
And behind us, we have Justin Labato from Car Candy doing some work. Originally, earlier, you saw him working on that Toyota pickup. That was Gabe's. Now, he switched it over to a Toyota of another variety, a Scion TC, in fact, that belongs to intern Mitch.
Yes, this is Mitch intern's car.
He takes good care of it, though.
Yeah, he does. He's a car enthusiast.
Compared to most TCs I've seen, this one is in very good shape.
Yeah. Now he, if you can usually find him in Boise out doing a toge run, at Bogus Basin, late into the wee hours of the night.
We call those bogey runs. Anyway, continue. I totally derailed you there. Does it hurt? Okay. Audio listeners, I'm sorry. Anthony can't even speak now.
Disgusted.
He's never heard somebody say that.
Just disgusted. And what's next? I'm going to say, hey, have you ever had a Boise Poke Bowl? Don't you mean a Bokeh Bowl?
See, this is what we opened the door to.
It's hard working here, everyone.
Yeah.
This is this type of stuff you have to be able to endure, and eventually it starts taking a mental toll on you. There's just so many bad jokes, but we do what we can. So.
Oh, boy. And on that note, we've got some comments and questions we can get to, with David Boyce asking the important questions, like, Anthony, what was your major in college? What kind of college degree did you get, sir?
So my major... sociology, to be honest. That was my major. I got an associate's in sociology, and then bachelor's. You know what's so funny about this? This also makes me upset to talk about. I am like 18 credits away from a bachelor's degree, and I just
you just didn't do it.
Dude, well, because basically when I was before I was working here at the Rag Company, the year prior to that, so it would have been like 2016. I was actually still going to school part time at BSU, right? And I was like, I just need to finish this degree and get it done with, right? And then I think I took a year off because I had changed positions, or I'd gotten like a promotion at work at my previous job, and it was like really kind of taxing. I was working like a lot of late hours. I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna be writing like 15-page essays, at night. It's not gonna be possible. And so took the time off, and then I was like, I'll go back and I'll finish it. I never did.
Yeah.
And so they're still there. Actually, BSU called me I think they called me last year, and they're like, hey, do you want to come back and finish this?
The credits are still valid?
Yeah, they said credits are still valid. Okay. They told me that
How
the
long
credits...
are those valid for?
They said that the credits would not expire. And I asked them, I said, well, okay, well, how long? And they go, they just were not going to expire. And I go, all right. So I'm like, I don't have to come back and redo this stuff? And she said, no. And I said, I don't know. So... but anyway, so sociology would have also been my bachelor's in that as well.
Bet you can't wait to be the oldest kid in class. All right, I got held back for 20 years.
No, I can. I don't think I don't want to go back. Ideally, if I'm working here till I'm 96, then I don't have to worry about that. But who knows? Maybe someday, right? Like there's Gabriel, for example, right? The other day he goes, I think I'm going to go get my master's degree.
I mean, he went above and beyond.
I said, do it.
He's a teacher.
And he's like, I'm going to go back and get it. I said, I think you totally should. If that's truthfully what you want to do and you thrive in a school environment and you like that, 100%. Go for it. But I cannot visualize seeing myself driving back to Boise State University, parking there.
Yep.
Throwing on a backpack.
That campus has grown a lot since I've been
massive. There. It's massive there. And just me throwing on a backpack and walking to a class is something that I have a really hard time envisioning nowadays. I don't know. I'm not saying I couldn't do it. I don't know.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. What's up, youth? Do you like my Yeezys? Yeah.
I belong here.
Yeah.
And before somebody accuses me of being elitist for saying almost got the degree. I didn't graduate college at all. So as somebody who's sitting here with his high school diploma, but did several years of college at multiple colleges and just never completed a degree at one, I feel that. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks here who probably feel they're more or less in one of our shoes at least. So
I had to get an associate's degree. It was there was a certain point where I'm like, okay, I have to if I've been doing this for a couple of years now, because the first couple of years I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? So it was the first core credit stuff. You don't really know what the heck you're doing.
I knocked out tons of credits and stuff ahead of time.
So I didn't even have a major or anything for the first year. It was just it was all over the place.
You didn't have
but
any
then
idea
after going to college for 3 years and being well, crap, I don't have anything, right? I was like, hey, if I take this, and this, and I major in this, then bam, I can kick out at least an associate's degree in another year. So I did that, and then I kept going to school, and then I said, I'm pretty much just right there towards the end, and I just
for you, I would have expected at least a communications or some kind of business degree, going that direction at least.
No, because I was uninterested in that stuff.
Okay.
I liked psychology. I like history. Yeah. But the thing is when you're getting to those, a lot of those science-based degrees or art-based degrees, you kind of have to, pick your poison, right? I mean, it's kind of like...
I know, because I went to film school.
Well,
so.
It's kind of when you get a bachelor's in biology, right? I mean, shoot, there's not a ton you can do with that, right? And so you have to kind of find what can you do the most with, and
it can feel limiting. Yeah.
And oftentimes, those art degrees, right, seem like they're not going to be super helpful. But I mean, they're a little bit more open-ended than something that's super specific, like a science degree, if you don't plan on being in science at all.
Yeah.
Right? Business is great, too. Business is also a lot of options there. But I remember all the math. Dude, I hate the
that's exactly why I couldn't get
classes.
Into that. I wanted to be an architect and a pilot and all those kinds of things when I was a kid. Then I learned how much math was involved, and I said, oh, no. I'm not built for this.
I did a stats class, right? And I passed my statistics class, but I remember doing that, and then after college algebra, which is what, math 143 or whatever it was, there was one more. I can't remember what it was, and I couldn't do it, dude. I was like, I hate this so much. I'll never use this stuff. And I just couldn't get behind it. I hated the math.
So basically, we're here to say we understand you. We feel your pain. Nobody should feel left out just because they didn't do the traditional route when it came to good higher education, all that kind of stuff. We all find our way, and I think detailing honestly, has kind of been the thing for a lot of people.
So, for example, like Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
So Jimmy's here, no college, I think he's got his high school, you got a diploma or a GED, right?
But he's highly intelligent.
But he's highly intelligent.
Any kind of
he's
level
getting
of intelligence.
Significantly more job experience here and just life experience to where he's he's ready to buy his first house. He's like 22 or 23. I can't remember how old he is right now, but he's super young, right? 22, 23. I mean, dude, I was still going to school or still getting out of school, getting into my first job, living with roommates, being like, oh my God, maybe a house is someday in my future, right? He's about to buy one any day now.
That's awesome.
And he's already got 5 cars, right? And so if I could do it all over again, if I could have gone down a different path or found a different company that I was totally into, or just a better mentor, I would have done that. I would have done that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think college is fine for people that.
I'm guessing some folks out there can relate. No,
if you're soul searching, or if you're being pressured by your parents, or you're being pressured by family members, or if it's paid for, or if you have an idea on what you need to, with an exact degree to get into where you need to be, then I get that part. But outside of that, though, I mean, shoot, sometimes it's just kind of throwing money at a wall until you figure out what the heck you're going to do.
I want to throw that out there. I think it's important we say all this stuff for the younger people who are watching right now, people who are just getting into this and they're interested in detailing. Maybe, if you're getting into maybe Carson's age, or you're a little younger than that, he's just walking by. He wonders why.
Carson, what do you think about college?
He's giving a thumbs down.
He thumbs down. That's because he works here. Yeah. But I mean, if he didn't work here, he might be.
I think he likes it here.
So
yeah, I mean, there's different ways to approach this stuff. But hopefully, if you're hearing this, just understand. Don't feel trapped. Don't feel locked in. You have to do it the way that, I got to go through all the steps and do that stuff. There are a lot of different ways to arrive at a point where you can be comfortable in life potentially, and you can enjoy what you do. So,
Were you saying without a college degree?
I'm saying without a college degree.
Dane, some of the most successful people I know, and I've ever met, didn't have a college degree.
Correct.
Actually, probably say 90%. Literally, probably with the exception of probably your parents. Well, some of the most, your parents both got master's degree, which is super cool. But almost everybody I know who most successful, most wealthy, most. I don't know.
They were traveling road musicians for my childhood, so it was a very different time. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to go way off course. I know we've
completely. I wasn't really expecting to go down this path, but that was quite fun.
Yeah.
Moving on. Give us your thoughts.
All right.
Neil White says David Boyce, he majored in keg stands and streaking.
Oh dear. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
Dude. Andor 2 is also. I'm looking
Neil,
forward
I started it last night. I watched the first episode. It's like taking place perfectly after season 1. I feel right at home. It's shot the same way.
I want to watch it so bad. I'm going to go home tonight and try watch it.
There's 3 episodes that dropped.
Oh man!
So you get to binge 3 unless you want to stretch them out a little bit.
Knowing me, I'll binge it.
I need to stretch these out till Sunday for The Last of Us season 2, episode 3.
Yeah.
And then next week, more Andor, a new episode comes out.
Yeah. Then I've got Gregory Holger here saying, what do you suggest for top coat for Uno Advanced?
Top coat for Uno Advanced.
So say you've already done the correction with your car, Uno Advanced. Anything? Now what are you going to top it with?
Anything. I mean, there's nothing specifically that I'm you have to do this, but bead maker, amplify.
There's a lot of good options out there.
Gosh, I mean, the world is your oyster, dude. I mean, paint gloss, stream maker. Use whatever you want to use. I mean, once Uno's laid down, once Uno Advanced is laid down, you're pretty much in the same boat as anybody else looking to top coating or a long-term sealant.
Well, and I think that's why Gregory here is asking that. Is he's probably wondering if there's any exceptions that don't bond well to the surface that Uno Advanced leaves behind.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you found doesn't play nice with Uno Advanced?
No.
That's all pretty good. Okay.
Everything plays nice. You are putting in with Uno Advance, whenever you're wiping off the Uno Advance, you are leaving behind technically more product. So let that set up, give it a few washes first, use the water behavior that's already on it, and then you'll go back through, and then you'll top it with whatever you prefer to.
Then I got Brian here. My magic wheel cleaner sprayer head stopped working with half a bottle to go. Is this common?
Yeah, it is. It happens. Sometimes, again, this goes back to like a viscosity thing. Magic wheel cleaner is quite thick, and coming out of that spray head, I find that sometimes it gets kind of clogged. The spray head's working a little bit extra hard to move that thick product through it, and sometimes that kind of does not work after some time. So I just throw in a new sprayer head of any type of bottle that you have, and then send it from there.
As a general rule of thumb, if you're somebody who finds yourself using a lot of trigger spray products, just having some extra like Tolco sitting around or something is a good policy, just in case. You never know. Yep. It can happen to anybody on any product, but for the reasons he stated, that is a little more likely with something like that. Joshua, Water Dragon Deal saying what, Anthony?
I've heard two different things when cleaning tires. Number one, clean tires over and over until there's no more browning. Having browning in the tires is good for the tires, which is true. Oh, man. There's like... This is a debate that I'm not wanting to go down the path of.
You sure?
Yeah, not really.
Oh.
Okay.
How about a quick and dirty answer?
Do you think you're damaging your tires by cleaning your tires?
I think by the time that whatever you've done to your tires is damaging them, what are you doing to it that the road surface
You are not going to be
done?
you're scrubbing that tire, cleaning it with a tire brush and a little bit of an APC or an alkaline based cleaner. You might be reducing the lifespan of that tire by like 5%. I don't know. There needs to probably be like an actual legitimate test.
I'm thinking about...
I don't think the browning on there, yes, there's some parts of the browning are a characteristic of how tires are made and with just what happens, right? Other times, the browning will basically amplify itself with the type of, dressings you put on it, the type of road grime it sees, all sorts of different stuff. There's like so many different results of why a tire can brown. But cleaning them to dress them, that's totally fine. Scrubbing them until there's no more browning and you're seeing white, that's probably, you're seeing nothing but clear bubbles, that's probably fine as well, as long as you're using you're not using a wire brush or anything. But you do that, you dress the tire, you call it good. But I don't think that there's any real hard evidence, at least in long-term tests, of scrubbing a sidewall of a tire over and over and over again and seeing something to the point where it is damaged or it's going to cause a disaster.
I would be incredibly shocked if anything you're doing to that sidewall with a brush and some chemicals, the types of chemicals meant to be used on tires, if you're using those, there's no reason that what you're doing should have a greater impact on the lifespan of that tire than you driving on it. Like, just the stuff that it interacts with on the daily.
There's a billion other things
you're
that you
going to
could do
replace
to that
tire before that thing deteriorates to the point that what you've done to it is actually going to be dangerous.
Oh my God! Look at tires in general. You can't even; those don't even break down with a matter of time. I mean, there's tires from
It's actually a problem.
It's actually a problem.
It's actually a problem.
God, we can't even go through the tires fast enough. So it's like you got tires sitting in junkyards exposed to quite literally anything and everything, holding cars up, everything that are 30 years, 40 years old, right? And they're still intact. And I'm sure you could take that same freaking tire, and I'm sure that bead on there will still hold a bead if you throw that onto a wheel and take it into a tire shop. I think that, yes, tires will, over time, they will crack. They will crack. You go through multiple heat cycles. But again, the wear and tear of just daily driving and what those tires are going to see, I think that taking a soft bristle brush and a light, cleaner or a tire cleaner to the sidewall, probably the least of your concerns. I mean, in general.
And
I mean,
I will say my PSA for people regarding tires, say what you will about my winter tire choices, but when it comes to just general tire use, there's no like classic car that's value is improved if you plan to drive it at all by having the original tires on it. Just put new tires on something if it needs new tires. The point is, like, if they're asking here, like, if we're deteriorating tires to a point that it's like dangerous or something, that's not going to happen. Like the cracking, dry rot, stuff like that can happen to tires, but by that point you should have already replaced those tires. It's a matter of like, if tires are really, really old and they're still on a vehicle, regardless of whether they're used up or not, there comes a point where you just need to replace them if you plan to drive on it with any regularity. As a safety concern.
If you were really worried about the tires, I mean, I think if you were cleaning them, and let's just say they are drying out, right? Let's just say that you are removing any type of, moisture / additives in that tire that are going to help with the longevity, the pliability, and all of that. I think that the very least you can do is put another dressing over the top, right? Like a nice water-based dressing, not a non-solvent-based dressing, and redress those tires. Shoot, dude, what the heck else are you supposed to do? Right? Drive around with dirty tires and then put a dressing on top of that over and over and over and over again until that dressing builds up and your tires literally look like freaking Oreos. Like what else? What's your other option, right? I mean, yeah, you probably clean them. I would probably just be mindful of whether, when you are cleaning your tires, I mean, just if you're using anything that's solvent based, be mindful of how often you're using something that's solvent based. But yeah, I don't see any issues with that. I don't know why we went down that rabbit hole.
No, that's okay.
Dane egged it on. Dan's Diamond Detail. I always finish with a rotary. The speed is the issue. Speed. People go too fast to rotation. Always set to speed 1. Yeah, correct. Speed 1 on rotary is still whipping, dude. It's still pretty quick. But yeah, if you're like Dan, you want to finish out with a rotary, I mean, by all means, have at it. I'm excited for the next mystery product survivor episode. When's the next episode dropping?
Anthony loves these things. He's talking about it.
No, I'm not happy about that next one that we shot, to be honest.
Aww.
That next one that we shot,
I'm just saying you like the process.
I like the process, but the one that we shot was like very it wasn't survivor enough-ish for me.
Oh.
I wanted it to be like, I want that series to be like freaking tiki torches and like flames.
You want
and
open
like,
flames in the studio.
I want like chance, and I want there to be like games of risk and chance involved. I want it to be like a true like fun series. The last time we shot it, like I don't even think we threw on our little head buffs. I think that we were just like, well, I guess it's time to go guess what this was. And I asked the guys, I said, what happened to the Survivor theme? I go, well, we didn't really have time to get the tiki torches. And I go, okay, well, what about, everything else? So
clearly you're super stoked about what's coming, and people should definitely be very excited about that upcoming video. I can feel
don't watch
the energy.
That one.
It's palpable.
We need to learn that because
you want them to learn a harsh lesson.
We need to learn a harsh lesson that when you don't theme things properly, it will fail. Man. But watch, what's going to happen is that it's going to be like the best one we've done so far.
And people are just going to like nonstop praise it, and you're going to be like, no, look at the other one.
What's the Survivor theme? Now, it is a good one. It just, I think the Survivor theme thing is probably very fun.
The attitude was there, but the aesthetic was not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's just a personal.
The spirit was in there, but you just wanted to look.
It's a selfish thing, Dane. I selfishly want that.
We're allowed to have selfish
George says, first time commenting big for a question. Oh, first time commenting big fan. Question I have is if I was my car every 2 to 3 months, if I wash my car every 2 to 3 months, would it be a good idea to spray Absolute on it with the power washer weekly until I could properly wash it? I would just do a rinseless wash, George, is what I would probably do. And you don't even need a power washer. You could throw that into just a spray. You can throw it into a spray bottle. You can throw it into an IK sprayer. You can just pre-spray it, do an absolute rinseless wash, and get you by until you can go through and do a full soap and water wash. Yeah, that's what I would do. But thank you for commenting, George. We're happy to have you.
Jorge, really appreciate you. Glad
is it Jorge or George?
Well, if there's a J, I'm going with Jorge, unless he says otherwise.
Okay, Dane, we don't know.
I'm making an educated guess here. I'm going to say Jorge, but
and
feel
I
free to
am
correct
making
me
educated guess. That's Jorge.
Yeah.
George.
Anyway, there you go. But I really appreciate you commenting,
Spanish George.
taking the chance to actually lay it out there, and we appreciate that. We hope many more people who are lurking take a moment to leave a comment. We like that, so thank you.
We like when the lurkers come out.
Yeah.
Like
it's peek out and it's safe. It's okay.
It's kind of like,
something.
it reminds me of like leaving the Fallout shelter for the first time. Like they're gearing up, they're excited about it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're doing it, right? And then they leave their first comment and we're like, hey, thanks for joining us.
And then it turns out to be just fine. And it's cool.
When giving quotes to customers doing motorcycles, what would you offer? Just an exterior wash, or can you wax it? What kind of things would you offer for bikes? So bikes you can pretty much do everything except for you would with cars, except don't dress the tires. Motorcycles in general, if you are not familiar with motorcycles, you're not mechanically inclined, you are not you don't know much about like chain cleaning or anything like that, this is where you have to be straight up upfront and honest, right? You can clean the bike, you can wash it, you can put a coating on it, you can polish it, you can do a lot of things. But sometimes, some detailers will go above and beyond where they will offer a chain cleaning service as well. So I've done some bikes in the past where I do a full chain cleaning service, as well as, which means I degrease the chain, I degrease the sprockets, I go through, obviously clean up the wheels, right? Because now I've created a mess with degreasing the chain, so I'll clean out the wheels, and then I will re-lube the chain as well, and then put everything back together. That's something I would do. If you are not familiar with motorcycles or how they work, and that makes the thought of that makes you uncomfortable, then yeah, do whatever you feel comfortable doing. I mean, if you just want to do a wash it. You can pressure wash pretty much any modern day motorcycle. You can rinseless wash every motorcycle. You can also clay them, polish them. Just know what you're getting into, right? Some customers will want chrome work polished. Some customers may want their windscreens polished, right? So you're going to have that, plexiglass windscreens. You'll have that. That's something that happens quite often.
A bike can take just as long to dry as a small car. If you're not
totally
paying attention,
motorcycles,
you will find all kinds of nooks and crannies that you missed.
You can offer a ton of different services. I mean, shoot. Like the list goes on, but like again, this goes back to like that. Now you're kind of doing some mechanical style stuff, like ceramic coating a wheel on a motorcycle. Possible, not fun, but possible. Ceramic coating a wheel off of a motorcycle, easy, fun, quick, right? Front and rear wheels, it's like the best, easiest thing to do, right?
Fewer spokes is easy though.
Not everybody's going to be like, I want to take the wheels off this motorcycle. It's not really a thing. So. Yeah, do what you feel comfortable doing. I'm just going to leave it. I don't know why that was a long-winded answer.
A big fat Harley with like just wire wheel, just wire spoke wheel, like crazy looking, just million. You're coating that?
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad time.
Well, you wouldn't really coat the spokes necessarily. You just coat the outside barrel.
I guess so. Yeah.
The spokes don't really hold on to much. I mean,
that's fair. I was just curious what you do in that situation because I haven't even encountered one like that, but. I know people out there are gonna, so.
Yeah.
The kind of bikes you're interacting with are more like, 5-spoke, 6-spoke, 9-spoke type things, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Joshua also asking, is polishing enclosed trailers different than polishing car paint? I mean, it's oftentimes more like a gel coat or something. Depends on the trailer.
It depends on what it's sprayed with. Sometimes you'll have enclosed trailers that were sprayed with single stage. Sometimes you'll have enclosed trailers that were maybe sometimes they're gel coat. I've seen
aluminum trailers.
You have aluminum. You have sometimes you'll have 2-stage paint. Sometimes you have clear coat over the top. Not really different. I mean, if you're talking about just doing it to practice, I'm assuming if you're asking that to practice, then you could practice on that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with doing that though. If you want to,
you
do test spots like in a small section where you can't see a lot of it.
We polished a few trailers here in the studio back in the day, and I don't remember treating it any different other than I mean, really, what we were doing, we weren't like polishing for like perfection. We were just like,
you polish them before you wrap them.
We polished them before we wrapped them. That's what we did. I remember that. Like we had polished or a section of them. I can't remember. It's been so long, but yeah, I didn't treat it any different.
And then Brian, are the packs of small coating cloths safe for lens cleaning? Yeah. If you want to use those, they're great for it.
They are, Brian.
Very good. Yeah, the microsuede ones is probably what you're talking about, but they're excellent. Then I got David Boyce. What product brand is being used on the pickup in the background? Is ADS being used today on the truck?
No, Car Candy.
Car Candy. That's what they were using there, and now that's what they're using on this Scion TC behind us.
Can we get a? I think they're about to get a foaming shot
we're getting
here.
Some close-ups there. I'm sure we'll get to see it as we're talking through. Yeah, get a nice look at it. So what they're doing right now is they're actually shooting all this stuff for content that's going to wind up on Amazon.
Yep.
On the Amazon store. So when you're looking at Car Candy on Amazon, you're going to find all of these videos, little snippets of them here and there and stuff. Yeah. You're going to see this stuff in the final product at some point on there. But right now you're seeing how the sausage is made.
Interns Scion TC.
Nice red car. Wow. Foam shows well on it.
I'm a sucker for red cars, man. I just love them.
All right, moving along here. Joshua also wants to know what you would recommend when polishing rims, i.e. wheels, certain pads, certain polishes, tools, etc. Both normal rims and chrome rims.
I have a message.
Gabe has a message.
From Joey and Alex.
Okay.
They said, Anthony, get a Red Bull in you. Amp up the energy.
I literally was falling asleep. I had to go. So what people don't know, I ate three like
I got a Celsius back there in the fridge.
No,
if you want
keep that devil juice away from me. I had like 3 Airheads between the break. I was just like pounding them down because I'm like, I need some sugar in me. I'm like I'm crashing after. I don't know what I had for lunch. Oh, I had some ground bison and some like potatoes and carrots, right? Which was a delicious and a very healthy meal, but it made me very sleepy.
I see that. Yeah, you're a little lower energy today, but it's not that you like hate what you're doing. You're just chill right now. It's just chill.
I am chill, Dane.
But Josh here, he's asking you questions about polishing wheels. Keeps calling them rims.
So if you're polishing wheels, especially if they're like chrome or like they're like a bright aluminum or they're clear coated or whatever, you'll have different like tools. Like so, for example, like I think like a good tool for polishing wheels. Like they have like the McGuire's, little speed ball, whatever the heck they call it, the little
for like exhaust and stuff.
It's like a foam ball thing.
I got one
that
of those
works well.
In my garage at
I mean,
home.
you can use that. There's also different attachments, like the PXE80 that I was talking about earlier, like a 3-inch machine. It's got a flexible shaft attachment with small cone-shaped foam pads that you can use for polishing certain areas of a wheel. They're awesome. That paired with just a 3-inch backing plate of just a normal 3-inch machine, you can get all the faces polished up. You can use that same machine on the barrels. So like I use a 3-inch on the barrels all the time. No issues there. So you've got a lot of different options. I think what by polishing by hand is one thing, but I think what you need to do is probably research some machines specifically for that. Like look up the PXE80. Watch some videos on it about the flexible shaft. You'll immediately get ideas. But what I think the tough part is you type in how to polish wheels, and what you're going to see is a bunch of dudes with a drill brush and a foam attachment on a drill. Polishing up wheels on a bunch
This is fine, I swear.
Well, it's going to be like 500 YouTube shorts of the mother's speed polish wheel.
This is what gets the eyeballs, man.
That's going to be like 500 of those. And you're going to be like, so is this the only option? No, there's tons of other options.
You just got to dig a little deeper.
You got to dig a little deeper. Yeah.
All right. Neil here.
Dane, also episode 3, Revenge of the Sith re-release tomorrow. Can't wait to see it for the 4,000th time.
Of the prequels, that one was the best one. But at the same time, it's I mean...
So what do they do different?
I mean, I imagine they're just re-releasing it in theaters for the sake of a big screen experience.
I know, but so the I mean, did they do any other type of...
Well, George Lucas for a while there did like adding things into his movies, but he doesn't own it anymore. Disney does. So Disney's probably just banking on making a buck off of it. So there's always that.
Probably removing stuff from the movie.
What?
They're coming out with a popcorn bucket.
Oh, of course, because now everybody has to have their own weird popcorn buckets for movie releases. Apparently they're doing one for this
What are you putting your hand into, like Anakin's arm?
Oh. It's just just molten.
It's just a limb. You get one of Anakin's limb. I got his leg. I got his arm.
They just dye all the popcorn black and red, and you're like, what?
That's horrible.
Oh, wow. It's like the end of the movie.
You're the chosen one.
Oh, man. Sorry, spoilers. V-Ray 33. Any updates on G-Tech C2V4?
Available, I believe, or at least, well, maybe not available. It is. Gosh, we have one of them in the cabinet that we had from TRCMA. I got 2 samples over there by my desk. I don't know ETA on like when that's going to be live on the site. I know that we are approved of it. I know it went through a product onboarding process. I just don't know when it's going to make the switch. I think our e-commerce team is in charge of that, making that switch from when C2V3 runs out. C2V4 will replace that. So periodically check the website. Maybe check it now and see what it's showing. If it still says V3, then that means it's not there yet. V4 would be, obviously the new version.
Okay. And then I've got Ryan here wondering about blowing out pads with an air tornador. Going to damage pads are all okay. Now, the first thing I can think of is open versus closed cell pads, if we're talking about like foam pads. But is there anything else you want to address there? Because if you have a closed cell and you're blowing air into them, doesn't that damage them?
Yeah, dude. I mean...
But if they're open cell, it's not as much of an issue.
I mean...
Justin says he has an answer.
Yeah. There you go. That's actually let's get a pad expert in here.
That guy knows a thing or two about pads.
Justin,
he's gonna know.
What do you think? Blowing a pad out with a tornador. What are your thoughts?
So my recommendation would be on fiber-based pads, which would be microfiber or wool.
Yep.
It works great. That's the best tool for that because it not only releases the spent product, but also fluffs the fibers to get you right back into your polish cycle. As far as foam goes, I would use direct air at a 45-degree angle, so that way you don't blow into the pad. The angle will allow you to blow out of the pad, whether it's open cell or closed cell. And this day and age, foam is open cell. It's harder to find closed cell on the market unless you know exactly what you're looking for.
Sure.
Cool.
No, that's very helpful. Thank you, Justin. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear.
I knew there was the expert in the house somewhere.
I love that.
Okay, next up here, Dane.
We got the reflection artist back there telling us.
James Laster says, "What do you suggest to put into the Air Blaster KC Polestar?" Coach, what do you suggest to put in the Air Blaster KC? With a respirator, if you want to, in the Air Blaster Plus, if you wanted to put that into that Polestar heavily diluted, you could do that with a respirator. That would work fine.
And then James also says, both the blaster and spray applicator are in the cart, but cannot tell what chemicals I need to add as well.
So the Blaster Plus, I mean, you can use that with just water. Ideally, it's probably best to use it with water, just for general like lung health. If you want to put a mild cleaner, you can. Again, you could put something like Polestar. You can put a little bit of Express in there. You have a lot of different options for the Air Blaster Plus, chemical-wise, but a respirator is the most important thing. Same thing with the spray applicator. Spray applicator, you can pretty much spray anything, whether it's a dressing, it's a cleaner. Just make sure whatever you're spraying is diluted and has a very thin viscosity. It's just a thinner liquid, and you'll be fine doing that.
All right. Then I got Tamara here. Hans, I don't have a dragon. I do have a griffin tattoo on my shoulder. Does
Tamara,
that count?
I believe you two were destined to meet. So you bring the griffin and the dragon together someday.
David saying, cat's out of the bag. Anthony is the guest on the Detail Grind podcast.
I am not. They cannot get me on that show. I mean,
people can't get you to accept a friend request on Facebook. You don't do any of that stuff.
It's not that I don't want to be on the show. I'm just saying they can't get me on the show with my current time that I have.
Right.
I have not a lot of time right now.
When they go live, you ain't living.
No, when they go live, I have a 3.5-year-old hanging off of me saying, Daddy, I want a snack. And then it's me lifting her up to every shelf in my pantry until she figures out what she wants. That's what I'm doing. Usually
trial and error until you get the one you want.
Yeah, when that happens.
Les Hernandez here saying, not a detailing question, but that's one of the best vehicles ever made. I had a friend that had one with 350,000 miles and it didn't even burn any oil. Those old Toyotas are pretty much eternal. Now, granted, he's talking about the Toyota pickup that was in there earlier, but yes, I think we can all agree with that. Top Gear demonstrated as much when they blew up a building with one on it and it survived.
We agree with you, Les. Yeah.
Detail Grind Podcast. I wish we could get Anthony on the podcast. I don't know if that will ever happen. Click the like button on this video to better our chances.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Maybe one of these days you can just like take a Friday off and then you'll already be ready. You'll just be at home, ready to go.
They just need to move up. If they move up the time on a Friday...
You're going to make them move their whole show just so they can accommodate you.
Yeah, because, dude, if it's in work hours,
their
I'm
viewers
money.
Expect something, man.
If I'm money, but the second I walk through that door at home... I gotta do dad stuff.
That's
you
true.
know, I'm very much needed at this point in time. You know, we got just a few weeks left until
new one on the way.
Until number 2 is here. Speaking of which, I will be gone for 2 weeks. So mid-May,
whenever that happens,
I will be off doing more dad stuff. So if you guys are wondering, somebody will probably be taking my place in that time, and then I'll be back. And then it'll be we'll be back to normal, hopefully. But yeah, I would like to be on this podcast. I can't believe that Matt Mormon was on their podcast before I was.
Yeah, he gave him 3 hours.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
I went to dinner with my girlfriend and came back, and they were still going. And I was like, wait, I thought this. Am I seeing a replay? No, it's still them talking. It was amazing.
They were just having that much fun.
Yeah. So next up, fine detailing. Mafra makes Maniac. They also make Labos Cosmetica, Italian made. Okay. For some reason, I thought they were a UK brand, but Italian made. All right. And then AUUK. I recently watched a video from 4 years ago from the channel regarding touchless car washes. Oh. And I got Detail Grind Podcast taking the fence down after I risked my life to help fix it.
That's hilarious.
You know, it's not going to happen tomorrow.
That is Joey.
A little bit of time. I can tell. That's definitely going to be Joey.
That's definitely Joey, yes.
I love you, Joey. All right. So Gregory Hauger, however you like to say that.
What do you suggest for maintenance products for Uno Advanced? Is SO2 product okay? Yeah. SO02, yeah. Gregory, that would be totally fine. You can absolutely do that.
There we go. And Brian.
Pretty impressed with Maniac line. Very nice atomization on the spray heads, and the quick detailer is slick and smells wonderful. Nice.
All right. And then I'm just going to call this person Awk. What is your opinion regarding touchless car washes on ceramic coating? If you get the most basic wash, you should be able to avoid the harsh chemicals that would harm the ceramic coating? ? Follows up saying it would be really convenient for light dirt. For example, nowadays I'm starting to see my car covered in pollen. I think we all know a thing or two about the pollen in the air getting on cars. It's a thing here too, for sure.
Pollen.
Yeah. So what's your take on that? You know, Awk here talking about touchless car washes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you've got a decent coating of pollen and you want to just address that, and start off with a touchless, totally.
Yeah.
I think this is a good scenario of the previous question earlier was like, hey, should I be touchlessing my car? How often should I be doing it? I mean, you don't have to do it every week, but I mean, depending on the situation, this is a good situation where it makes sense.
I realize I'm way behind on these comments. We're going to start flying through these things.
All right, Dane, I'm going to have you kick it off.
Yes.
Sheep says it'll depend on how dirty the car is. If it's really dirty, you still need to have some form of contact. Also, your drying aids, you'll want to contact wash. Okay, got it.
All right.
Go,
Deutsche
Dane.
Auto Garage here saying, should we apply for the Gram if we are a business user already? Thank you for everything. Preparing for dubs at the lake while watching this.
If you are dedicated to making high quality content and you love doing it, then yes. If not, and you have other things priority that like a business, then no.
All right, there we go. Umberto wanting to know, how's the back holding up, Anthony?
Pretty good. I actually rode a motorcycle to work today.
You did?
It's my first time doing that in over a year. I was really stressed, to be honest, because I was like, I really want to ride a motorcycle, and I'm really worried about that. And I was like, you know what? It's kind of like ripping a Band-Aid off. I just need to do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I did. And I successfully made it here. I feel pretty fine. My hip has been cramping up on me lately, so I don't really know what the heck's going on there. It's just, another thing.
Well,
but outside of that, though, I'm feeling relatively normal. And Dude, I mowed my freaking lawn yesterday.
Good job.
I edged. I edged in front of the neighbors. I edged in front of my family, and I did a killer job. Carbon fiber shaft on that, and
I hope it was flexible.
The whole non-flexible. It was about as stiff as it could get. So I went through. I did that, and I cleaned up dog poop. All in the same day, and I was like, heck yeah, dude.
You really did a number on that yard. Okay.
Yeah, I did. And then I relaxed and I watched Andor after playing with my daughter for like another hour and a half.
That's sweet.
So I'm getting back to doing like,
feeling like normal
living life.
stuff.
I'm always in a little bit of discomfort, but I'm doing it, and it's just getting better.
That's
so
good.
Keep that up.
All right, Dave Detail. Amplify as a drying aid was clogging up my liquidators. I have 6 in total, and I valet 4 to 5 cars per day. I can't be washing towels daily, but I love the Amplify. Help!
Oh man, yeah.
But he doesn't want to wash daily.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's honestly. Switch it up. Paint gloss from PNS will not clog. It will not clog a single towel. I promise you that. And you could spray on as much paint gloss as your heart desires, and you'll never have that issue. I've also been testing the theory of OG drying aid. Being less likely to clog up towels. It's kind of half and half. It's not quite Amplify levels, but this is the tough part, man. We all want that slickness. We all want that nice drying aid feeling. But the clogging of towels is a real thing. So in the short term, trust me, Dave, get yourself a gallon of paint gloss from PNS, spray it on as much as you want, and your towels will not clog.
All right, next question. We're cruising. Joe wants to know, what do you think of touchless wheel cleaners like Chocolate Thunder from Car Candy?
Good. Great. They're using it back there. They're doing great.
They've actually been doing that stuff the whole time we've been talking here.
Was that Goku? Was that a picture?
Yeah, it looked like Goku. Perhaps Gohan. I'm not looking. The picture's not big enough for me to tell.
Kind of a fun question. What products do you guys use for your house? Like, do you use any fabric coatings for couch leather protection, APC for shower doors, all that? Literally all of the above, Joshua. Clean my floorboards with, include my baseboards with O&R. Do that all the time. It's my favorite way to clean my baseboards. All of my mirrors, I use a high quality glass cleaner, not for the home, usually for automotive detailing. I have great luck with that. Shower doors, I've used water spot remover on. I've fabric coated all of my, my tabletop chairs that I have up on my counter with G-Technics fabric coating. And then pretty consistently, I use Terminator, Express, Carpet Bomber, Finisher, Peroxide, and all of that. I use all that on the interior of the house on carpeted areas all the time. Whether it's dog throw up, whether a child is not wearing her diaper and just goes, right? That's another thing I need that for. There's lots of different reasons to use. I use all sorts of different cleaners, but all the time.
All right. Awesome.
ADS Villain Sponge reminds me of the UBS with a similar break-in experience. The USS is great, but I think the Villain has the sweet spot for me personally. Gotcha.
Glad you enjoy that, Jeff. Dave Detail. I'm trying to love the FTW for glass, but I just find it grabby on the final wipe. I probably have every glass cleaner there is. Talk to me.
I don't know. Dave, I don't know.
That's a rare situation
because
I have good luck with the FTW. With most any glass cleaner I want to use. If you find it still too grabby, you can compromise and move to like a waffle weave or something, but I find the FTW really is like the single best towel at doing the most different things the best. Like in terms of competence, that towel is like a 5 out of 5 in so many different categories. Yep. It's insane.
Keep going, Dane.
All right,
keep moving, Dave.
All right. Awk! Responded to Sheepstar. Yeah, I get that. I was in the mindset of the lighter dirt like pollen. Okay. Joey Belinsky, Anthony, are you getting nervous/excited about baby number 2 making an appearance soon?
I'm excited. I'm not really that nervous, but I am excited. I'm just I think I'm ready for my wife to not be pregnant, and my wife is ready for her to not be pregnant.
She's done.
I think we're both like, both like, hey, let's do this thing.
Wrap it up, baby. Yeah. All right. Awk here saying, I don't have any touchless car washes near me, but I do have a couple hand wash places. So I'm going to just ask them not to contact and let me go through the wash. Oh, well, if you can do that, more power to you. All right, page 5. No, 4. Okay, we're making a little progress. Now time to go to the non-response questions to other people. Got DIY with Kane here.
Long-time Gauntlet fan. I bought a dryer roll on Black Friday. Finally started using them. So good, so good. New fave.
Awesome,
nice.
dude. Glad you enjoy it. Demo. Nice to see Demo in here. Saying TRC merchandise is fire. I agree. Nate's really been killing it lately with the selections people can choose from. So much love to our TRC merch department. And Jimbo Slice is a non-garage 14-year-old Civic too old for two-step paint correction. No signs of clear coat failure. I have kept ceramic/wax on it the whole time I've owned it. I think a fellow Civic owner here might have something to say about that.
Dude, just yes and no. I mean, like, does it need a two-step paint correction? If it does, then it might be worth doing a test spot and seeing what happens. If it's not, and you feel like you could get away with doing a single step, then do that. Yeah. It all depends on what it needs, right? There's no need to do a two-step unless the vehicle needs a two-step. If it, especially on a Civic, right? Civics aren't really known for having the most amount of clear on them. So do what you can.
Yeah.
Wade says, "Sup, my back hurts. No detailing today." Wade, I get it, man.
We're holding out hope for your back, buddy. And nice to see a comment. I have not seen that name pop up here before, so I'm going to assume you're new. But are you perhaps a lurker who's just commenting for the first time?
Got to keep going, Dane.
Yeah.
How many pages do we have?
We're on 4, so we're working our way up.
Okay, Dane. We gotta go. We promised these people that we would be done at 4:00.
And I'm going to hold that promise.
Okay.
There may be a cutoff, so just letting you know. Anyway, Jimbo also says, I'm thinking maybe 2 steps on the sides and a quick polish on the roof and hood. Griot's G9 and G8 polishers, Koshimi Fine Cut, and KC Microcut. Okay.
That'd be fine.
Then Sheepstar saying neither of those are very aggressive, at least from my knowledge. I'd use the most aggressive polishing machine and see how it looks. Okay. Okay, Stinky coming in with the brutal questions. What are the biggest scams or misleads you're seeing in detailing products from other products, non-specific lines you were not aware of early in your career? I mean, that's such a big topic.
Man, dude, I don't think Stinky, bring that next week.
Yeah, no, that deserves more time.
We'll go on a tangent next week about it.
We'll definitely talk, but it deserves more time to properly answer that.
F11 Top Coat, the Jimbo Slice. Yeah, they were pretty gentle compounds.
Oh, don't worry, Sheepstar said it for you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And that and graphene. Like, that's graphene is an easier one to say. Not that graphene itself is a problem, but that, like, things called graphene, the amount of graphene in them is usually so small.
Dane, move on.
Okay. Moving on. Not getting too sucked into this. I know it's so easy to get latched on.
Keep going.
Oh, man. Okay.
Let Sid do it in the comments. She's doing great.
Jimbo saying, I still use invisible glass. That stuff is awesome. Yes. Agreed. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, Sheepstar answered the question about why he couldn't have wood or, no solid fuels in the park. So that explains that. Favorite non-auto uses for Rinseless, says DIY with Kane. I'm going to say baseboards at Anthony's house. That's a good one. We cleaned all the walls.
Everything cleaner, dude. I like dust my house with just diluted 256-1 Rinseless. All the time. It's a common occurrence in my day-to-day. 100%.
All right, so now I'm able to skip through quite a few of these because it's mostly back and forth chatter. Stephen Audette saying, thanks for the info about the Kosher products on tires. I'm still finding my process that I enjoy and works best. Nice. That's what it's all about, Stephen. Yeah,
you're so
just
far
work your
behind.
way through it, man.
We are very far behind, and keep going.
No, that's great. And
keep it going, Dane.
I'm skipping whole pages because it's literally back and forth comments, so we're actually going to be just fine.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, right with the horses. It is pretty funny.
And then Joey loves the Joshes.
Nice. We love the Joshes as well. Where are the Joshes?
Ryan Riggs. Oh, I didn't know about Kelly. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, no, that was something that I had to go through, so that wasn't very fun. Nestor. So when is the IK eFoam Pro 2 back in stock?
Next week, hopefully.
So we're very close. That's the hope. Neil White. Anthony's going to pull a back to school Rodney Dangerfield and go back to college when he's 70.
Oh, dude, I might. We'll see.
Oh, boy. Koshimi one step with a one-step pad. What speed should I run? Well, I don't know what machine you have, but assuming, let's just say a Rupa's Bigfoot 15. What speed do you think? 3?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, fine. Don't run it at 6.
No, don't do that.
3, 4.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See, now you're just confusing him.
3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 1.
Okay.
5, 2, 4.
Sydney says Delaney can show you the ropes, Anthony.
Oh, about college? Oh, God.
Yeah, I think so.
That would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, Delaney.
She's going to be your tutor and, like, just...
Dane, you didn't graduate
beat you
from
with a
college
ruler.
because you were caught kicking the college dean down the stairs. That's true.
I need to stop kicking people
Dane
downstairs.
kicked
That's
so
my
many
problem.
bullies down the stairs. It was crazy.
Well, if they just weren't bullies, then that would solve itself.
Tamara says, I got
Instead, I
1
had
year
to
in
solve
college at Queen College because of knee injuries. Couldn't go back. My knees were shot. Dang, Tamara. I didn't know that.
And Neil White, whoa, a Scion. Haven't seen one of those in years. Yeah, Toyota forgot about him, too.
Yeah,
Lane Evans.
Yes.
What would you use from the right company for the interior of boats? We got 30 seconds.
Oh, man. Anything you want. I mean, just anything. Express Interior Cleaner. Works great.
There you go. And Neil White, Steve Jobs
Tri-Clean.
didn't graduate from college, and he turned out okay. Well, he died, but he did well.
He did well before he died.
Yeah, well,
I
his
agreed.
problem was thinking that fruits were going to save him. So, yeah, that didn't work out
I
great.
mean, well, there's the one guy.
listen to
There's
the
the one guy
doctors.
that's trying to de-age himself.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna
Hey,
get
guys,
into
I was
that.
wondering, how would you suggest removing lint from a glass towel?
Oh, man. Try to wash it separately. Wash it on its own. Submerge it in water. Let it soak. Try to see if you can get residual lint out. Go from there.
All right, and that gets us to the mark at 4 o'clock. And actually, you know what? We were only one page behind at the end, so we weren't too
Did we
bad.
miss out on
got
any
through quite a
fun
few.
questions?
I'm sure there were some. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of Q&A. Get in early, get in while the getting's good, and you'll get your question answered here. We tend to have too many for even 2 hours to answer it all. But I want to give a big shout out to Justin back here, who's been working tirelessly in the background, doing awesome work on both a Toyota pickup and this lovely Scion. Justin, anything you want to say before we head out?
I would say if you guys have an opportunity, go on Amazon and check out the full lineup of Car Candy products, or visit carcandy.com. That way you could see the full selection of what Car Candy has to offer and their amazing chemicals.
Heck
All
yeah,
right.
dude.
Thank you,
so
Justin.
much,
and
man.
you will see some of these, what they were shooting back there on Amazon very, very soon. So that's something to look forward to as well. And for all of you who tuned in, asked your questions, a big thank you to you as well. The show's not possible without you. So give yourself a big like and give us a big like with the thumbs up down below. Real easy. And it helps us out in the algorithm. And you can leave a comment down below for something you might want us to talk about in the future. And other than that, if you're not subscribed, do us a favor and subscribe. You guys already enjoy it here. And with all that said, I want you to have a wonderful weekend. Anthony does too. Justin does too. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
See ya.